Joe Pin 12 here. This is just a video to kind of introduce a few things that I've been doing around my house to be more self-reliant. Something I feel is important in this day and age, because there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee there's always going to be emergency services. There's no guarantee that the government's going to be there during a natural disaster and be there in time to help you and your family. Had several tornadoes in New Jersey already. So we're not immune to freakish weather. I mean, I can't even imagine if a Katrina-style hurricane came through the Northeast here. Something New York City has never seen. I can't even imagine what impact that would have, not only financially on the United States, but on everyone that lives around the area. These are things that you got to think of. Can you live in your house for a couple of weeks without food, without having to go out of the store? Because what if you can't get to the store? What if that store has no more food? Everyone just took it, and you're there with your family in your house. Would you be able to survive? Or what happens if we lost? I mean, at one point we had a power outage. I forget what year it was. It was 2 weeks that the power is out, and I believe it originated from Canada. It's where the short circuit happened, and it caused the power grid to go down. What are you going to do if that happens in the middle of the winter? If we have a power grid failure, who are you going to rely on? Would you want to go to a shelter, or would you rather stay in your own home, where you can guarantee your safety because you're in an area where you're familiar with? And if you have children, I think it would be best that your children get to stay in a place that they're familiar and feel safe in. So my whole thing is you have to learn to be more self-reliant, and the little things you can do, like one of the things I've been doing is learning gardening, learning fishing. I've been putting aside food and water and different things, which I'll show in different videos, some of the little things that I do. I am by no means very wealthy. You know, I have a good job, but you know, I have a budget like anybody else, and I have to do things in small increments. When I first started, I only had some extra cans of food, and that was about it. Now I can safely say I have about a year, 6 months, not a year. My goal is a year, but 6 months worth of food and water. It gives me a little bit more sense of ease to know that if something did happen, I would be okay. For 6 months, I'd be able to sustain myself. I have means to heat my house with a wood-burning stove, or I have the kerosene heater to back that up. You know, I have other means in case the normal, everyday things that I expect to be around, like the electricity, isn't there. So it's just something to keep in mind. And the next couple of videos, I'll just show you the little things that I'm doing. And one of the books that I use that I absolutely love, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but it's by Dick and James Strawbridge, and it's Self-Sufficiency for the 21st Century. And it's just got practical uses. What these guys have done, these brothers, is they took a very small plot of land in England, and they made a complete self-sufficient farm, which they're off the grid, and they make their own power, and they just have really great ideas, like automatic watering system, which is one of the things I'm going to be working on. Just really neat ideas. And here you have a solar-powered heat sink for if you want to grow food year-round, and it even shows you the rain catch. So you have water, and you just use the gravity to bring water into your greenhouse. Just really, and just little floor plans of how to make a ecosystem in the backyard, utilizing natural ways to combat insects and pests, and just how to create a nice biosystem right there in your backyard. This is another thing I'm going to start doing. Make a worm bin and basically use soil and waste from your kitchen with paper, and you put worms in there, and they actually create this kind of this sludge, as you can see here, and you mix that with water. There you go, keep that in focus. You mix that with water and it helps your plants grow really well. It's kind of your own little miracle grow. So miracle grow when you can't go to Home Depot. And it just comes with different ways of when to plant and grow fruits and herbs, and just more details on the different vegetables and when to pick them, when to plant them. It's just a really, really good book. And you don't have to follow everything exactly the way they, do things. I mean, as I'm going to show you in my backyard, I did variances of what they show you in here, but a lot of things they show in here just gives you some really good ideas. And they cover everything. They cover so much. I mean, right down to cooking, making cream and butter and yogurt. These are just things that you can learn on your own time, and it's not knowledge you can't get rid of. That once you've gained some knowledge, it's something you can keep for the rest of your life. And when it's something that's going to give you a better way of your own self-reliance, because really when it comes down to it, you're only you're accountable to yourself. And that's the problem with this world, is there is no accountability. Everyone has reason to blame someone else for something, but when things really come down to a natural disaster or something catastrophic that might happen, it's really up to you to take care of yourself, fend for yourself, and protect your family. And this is what I've been doing. I got this green beans here, and I got green beans over here. What I've been doing is growing in small pots, because I don't have a big yard, as you can see. It's about it. I have chamomile here that's growing, my second batch of parsley, and over here I use this book that's been really good, and I'll go over it once I go inside, back inside the house. But I made this rock garden, and I kind of made it spiral up, and I followed this book called The Self-Sufficiency for the 21st Century, which I'll show you guys later. And the way they did it is they actually had the spiral where you can plant stuff in the sides, but I just kind of made it more compact because that's just what I wanted to do. And I have my strawberries, I have my thyme here, my chives, parsley, rosemary. My basil has been doing excellent, it's just been growing like crazy. These are just small little plants. And my silver thyme, there. That's a really nice plant too. It's really cool looking, really nice. And this actually acts as a heat sink as well for your plants, the rocks. So it's a really, and it's been growing really well. I'm pretty happy with it. And over here I have my little garden area and my corn, which is my second year trying to grow it. Last year it didn't work so well, and some of it got destroyed from a storm, believe it or not. In this little compact area, destroyed almost all the corn that I had. This whole section is like empty. And originally I had a whole bunch of stalks all up here. But that's what happens, you know. Prepare for the unexpected. And I've got my summer squash, which is on the side here. And this is something, maybe you guys can tell me what this is, but there's this fungus that's been growing on the summer squash. I have no idea what it is. I don't know if it's dangerous, or I'm going to probably Google it and try to figure out what's going on. And I got my cucumbers, which are doing really well. Cucumbers are some of my favorites. And one of the things they say in, you know, on carrots, which are almost ready to pick, I got to start pulling those out probably in another week. Well, what a lot of people say, and I agree, grow what you're going to eat and store what you're going to eat. And this is just kind of what I'm going to do. I'm slowly doing. I'm going to eventually put more boxes, or maybe make one big box going almost to my deck here. And I'll put some more boxes here next year. If the corn doesn't work, then I'm going to plant it elsewhere and then plant something else in this little section here. And that's pretty much it. It's all learning. You're not going to learn overnight, and you have to learn by doing. You can sit there and read about gardening till your heart's content, but it's not the same as just doing it. I mean, one of the things I put up this chicken wire because I was trying to figure out last year. I kept having an animal just ripping up the baby shoots, and I thought it was squirrels. So I put this chicken wire, and it was still happening. It turns out it wasn't squirrels at all, but it was chipmunks. I guess chipmunks have different ideas of the tidiness of their environment, so they tend to like to walk up to new baby shoots. They don't even eat them. They just rip them out like little anarchists and just throw them on the ground and move on their merry way, or they'll just dig things up just for the heck of it. Really frustrating. I mean, I've even found them going into these my little potted plants here, or you know, the chamomile. I just caught one of them today, like jumping into this one and digging. And in fact, you can actually see where he was digging right there. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm more in line with the person that's just starting out prepping, but just starting out is better than not starting it out at all.
The mayor cut the bread line. The governor sprung from jail. The senators died.